So hello, everyone, once again. My name is Tatiana Kristova. I'm Customer Success Manager from Chemical Abstract Service, a division of American Chemical Society. Thank you so much for joining this Friday morning. So appreciate that. Today, we're going to talk about SciFinder Discovery Platform. So I want to show you some live examples so that you have an easy start and enjoy using the platform already. If you have any questions, feel free to interrupt me anytime. You can unmute yourself or write in the chat. You can also write in the chat or even unmute yourself in Slovak. I have my colleague Lucia who will help me in translating. So the plan today, I want to show you just a couple of few slides, really few, to give you a bit of a structure, how the platform is formed, who we are for those who especially never used SciFinder in the past or never came across this our content. So just to give you a bit of idea who we are, what we do, and what you have access to, right? So that all the tools that you can access already now. And let me share my screen. And as I said, it's going to be just a few slides, and then I'll go live in the platform and we'll show you some examples that I have prepared. So let me know if you don't see the screen. As I said, the subscription is called CAS SciFinder Discovery Platform. Let me tell you a few words who we are. So probably most of you know us, but for some of you, maybe there will be also some new information or a reminder. CAS, or Chemical Abstract Service, is a division of American Chemical Society. So as you probably know, ACS, or American Chemical Society, is working on publishing. We, in comparison with them, we are working since 1907 on curating, connecting, and analyzing the world's published scientific data. So this is our main activity, but not only. So during the live examples, I'll probably repeat that if I don't forget, but in parallel, what we do in CAS, we also give so-called CAS registry numbers. Probably you know them maybe also as a CAS numbers. So these are unique numbers that we give for each substance. For example, the substance and its source will have two unique numbers that are used worldwide. For example, the easiest for you to remember or to keep in mind, like in the customs, they would need those numbers to identify. So these are two parallel activities that we do. If I'm too quick, please also let me know. So just a few words about the content. I'm not going to cover all of the content that we have, but just the main things that I want to point here. So we are very proud that we have scientists like you who index our data. So they would index different types of documents that can be, of course, journals, can be dissertations, can be patents, of course, conference proceedings, books, and so on. So this is what, wherever we come across chemistry or chemistry related, it can be also biology, it can be life science in general, so that we will index in our database. And we are very proud that our scientists would index information in 50 different languages. The whole database, the platform, is in English, but as I said, our scientists who are native in those languages would index the content, including Slovakian language, of course. So there are 50 overall languages that we are working on. Talking about the type of documents, we have 50,000 scientific journal titles that we currently have inside our platform, and with this is overall, and there are thousands that are currently active, meaning journals that are currently active. Our core database, which connects all our other data, for example, spectra properties, references, reactions, and so on. As you understand, this is the substances. For the moment, we have over 250 million substances. And not less important, which is also an important thing to mention, is that we cover patents. More than 109 patent offices worldwide can be found in the platform. And this slide is quite important as for me in terms of understanding how the platform is built, so that you know what you can find in the system. Of course, this is not the complete content, but it's more of a to get understanding where you can, how you can also filter out what are the important points and how the data gets to the database. So what our scientists would do, they would go through the full text of the document. In this case, in this example, I have a patent. So even if the patent is like 100 pages or even more, they would go through the full text and give so-called concepts. Remember this because during the live session, I'll repeat them a couple of times. They are very important for the filtration. So what are the concepts? You can think about the concepts as a keywords, but they are not the keywords that you as an author would give to the article, right? Or to the document in general. These are the keywords, the standardized keywords that our scientists would give to the publication. So these are basically the main topics of the publication that will include the synonyms, the abbreviations, the plurals, and other forms, so that they combine in one term, what is the main topic. So one publication can have, of course, multiple concepts depending on what is described inside. And as I said, they are standardized. That's why they are, you can rely on them when you do the filtration inside the platform. And of course, if the scientists would find some substances or reactions, or if we are talking about patents, patent family members, they would index that, including the citations. And now about the subscription itself, what do you have access to? So you have access in general to the platform, but the platform includes several tools, okay? So the main one, which connects other tools, is SciFinder-n. Some of you maybe used in the past SciFinder. SciFinder-n is the new version, which was built from scratch. And now it has much more capabilities. So it's based on new technology. You will see that it's quite different from the old platform, if you remember the old one, right? So the SciFinder-n is connecting also to other two tools, which are new in CAS in general. So we built them a couple of years ago. And now they are available under the platform for you with one login ID. So you need just one login ID, and then you can access all the everything what is under the platform. So what I'm talking about is Formulus or CAS Formulus, what it is. So from the name, you maybe can guess that this is a content related to formulations or compositions. So this covers different types of industries, meaning pharmacology, pharma, cosmetics, food, packaging, and other industries. So for those who are not working in this area, just think about, let's say, something related to cosmetics, a shampoo. So you would be interested if you want to build, if you want to create the final product, you would be interested, what are the active ingredients, what are the optional ingredients, that inside the shampoo, what ingredient gives you the smell of coconut, for example, what is the amount, and so on. This is basically the composition of the final product that you will find inside CAS Formulus. And the second one, which is from the name, it's clear that it is the collection of analytical methods. And the last but not least, this is a database which we called ChemZent, and you can find it. You can search in it in SciFinder-n. So this is part of SciFinder-n. ChemZent is the German abstracts that are called Chemistentablet. Maybe some of you have noticed them in some of your libraries. I'll tell you a few more words on that in the next slides. And let's just say a few words about each of the platform, each of the tool. I will not stop too much on SciFinder-n because we will basically do most of the examples today in SciFinder-n. But as I said, if you have used the old platform, you might see the big difference because it was built from scratch. So talking about analytical methods. So the analytical methods and the CAS Formulus have their own web page. So there you can find the content in them through SciFinder-n, and you will see how I will do it in my examples. But you can also search just for analytical methods, for example, in a separate platform, in separate tool, sorry. So this tool includes hundreds of thousands of analytical methods in different fields like organic compounds, bioassay, environmental analysis, toxicity, pharma, and so on. And let's move to the next tool, which is, as I told you, CAS Formulus. So this is the collection of formulations. The content is coming from patents, journals, and product inserts. So especially related to if we're talking about pharma. So that's a few words about Formulus. And the last, as I told you, as I promised to mention a few words about this database. It's part of SciFinder-n, and it's called ChemZent. This is German abstract publications from 1830 to 1969. So it's about 3 million abstracts. This is the only machine translated English abstracts in the platform. The rest is human translated. So basically this is the historical overview into chemistry, right? So now we are done with the slides, and I want to move live to the examples. If there are any questions, once again, a reminder, feel free to interrupt, unmute yourself, or write in the comments. Let me share my browser first. So I hope you see my browser. If not, let me know. So I want to start with our web page before we go to the platform itself. So there are quite a lot of useful information that you can find in here. So first of all, if you want to learn more about the Discovery Platform, here's the link under the solutions, and you will see all the free tools that are accessible to you with one login ID. Just a reminder, in case you didn't create your login ID yet, all of you should get instructions from the library how to create your login ID. It should be quite simple, like creating an email. But if there are any difficulties, any errors that you get, or something that causes issues, just let me know, or Lucia, write to the chat, or contact us after the session, and we will do our best to help you and fix the issue, okay? So, and the second thing which I want to show you on our website, here's depending on your screen, you might see it just in here, but for me, I have a small screen. So here, if I go a bit down, I will see the training, sorry. So this is the support page. We have quite limited time, so it's difficult to show you everything. But if you are interested in some type of capability that I missed, for example, or you want to learn more, here's the free tools that you can find in terms of the additional small videos or some PDF files. If you click here, you'll see, okay. So for example, I'll not touch too much today the pattern searching. So you can go there and see some videos how to do that, how to do the IP landscaping in SciFinder-n. Some are webinars, which are a bit longer. Some are short videos, like 5-6 minutes maximum. So now let's go back to the tool. So basically, the link that you need to save is SciFinder-n.cs.org. So I'm already logged in, but as soon as you logged in, you will see the home page. And let's go through some of the features of the interface so that you know how, what are the capabilities, what you can access. The first and the important thing is these 3 dots. So it's very simple. If you click there, you will basically, what I want to point out, what you have access to. So this is the discovery platform that is accessible to you. So you have access to SciFinder-n, Analytical Methods, and Formulus. If you remember, I told you that those 2 tools have also their own pages, or it's a separate tool. So if I click here, I'll see this different interface of the analytical methods. And if I don't want to do any searches in SciFinder-n and I want to go only in analytical methods, so this is how I can, move my, just transfer. Of course, you can remember the link, but as soon as you see the 3 dots, you can navigate from one tool to another. If you want to go to the home page, just click on the logo. That's the easiest, the fastest way. If you want to go back, you can always use the browser. Let's go through a bit those few buttons here. So under my name, I can see a few helpful links. So there are settings in here, and you can optimize, or you can, up to you what you like. For example, like menu applying filters. As soon as you start using, see what works best for you, and maybe go to the settings and check what you can modify. There are a few more important things that I want to point here is the help and support. So we do have a help page, of course, and if there are some capabilities that you are interested in to learn more, for example, Boolean operators, how do I use them? What are the possible Boolean operators that I can use in SciFinder-n? So here, where you can find all the possible ones. And the last, what's new. So what's new is basically the same help page, but only the content in terms of what was updated, because this is not the final product, the platform. So almost each month or each quarter, we would add, we would optimize something. So it might be related to the capabilities. It might be related to the content. So just, to stay updated, if you didn't use the platform for a while, maybe you want to check what's new. Then there's this 4 dots, which we see the square. I will not point out on everything, but just the most important things. So the history and the saved. So the history, of course, is a very important thing to, to know how it works. So there is some similarity between saved and the history, and I want to just explain you what's the difference, because that's going to help you in the future when you use the platform. So as you can guess, the history is basically your first step is saved. As soon as you start, searching, as soon as you do first step, click on the search, the system will automatically save your step. So for example, I did some search, it's saved. My first step is saved, and then I can rerun it, or I can modify it anytime. If I want to navigate through the calendar, for the days, I can always see where I have done some searches, those blue dots. And I can filter out by the result type. And now the saved, which is very useful for you in the future, especially, when you're working on some project that it's lasts, a few months, and you want to have keep it for you to come back. So what is the benefit between the history and the saved? The saved saves you the filters that you have chosen. So if the history saves only the first step, the saved saves also the filter. So you can save at any point of your searching, of your filtering. And also you can, as soon as you save, maybe you think like, okay, I want to get some updates. What can I do? You know, because the system would update once in 3 days. So maybe there is something new there. So I'm going to the alerts and set up an alert. If I want to keep in, you know, all together, you know, by some tag, this is where you can also give a tag. For example, as you see, I have combined something on topic related to cancer, coronavirus, and so on. And you can rerun it anytime. So this is one of a few of the benefits of the saved. And you can combine as well. So if you want to combine several answer sets, this is where you can go. You can also do it at the time before saving as well, but you must have at least one saved answer set. You can filter out. So here we have also alerts. I didn't set up much alerts here, so I have 0 you know, alerts for the moment. And there is also projects. Just in a few words, basically you can combine in one project some you know, several, for example, references, several reactions, substances all together in one project. So let's click on the logo to go home to the home page. And let's see what kind of capabilities we have. By default, as soon as you enter the system, you know, when you logged in first time, the system will choose by default the all option. What is the all option? The all option gives you the bigger picture, like more of an overview, what we have in all databases that are behind SciFinder-n. For example, if you're looking for a substance name, the system will give you some reactions where the substance was taking part, some references from where we extracted that substance, from where we indexed that, or maybe the substance record itself, and so on. So, but my recommendation would be, as soon as you have your query, because normally you would know what you would like to search for. You know, for example, I'm interested in publications related to the substance and so on. Go with the separate, you know, with the specific type of search, and you can always easily move from substances to reactions or to reference and so on. So this is not a problem at all. So don't be afraid of that. So let's do some. Let's go for the other searches. So here's the substance search. We will do a substance search today. And basically, you can do a substance name search. You can use the register number. You remember I've mentioned those. Or you can search for documents and see what substances we index there. Of course, you can draw a substance. You can combine with different properties, for example, like by activity data, as well as some physical properties in here. Then we have, of course, the reactions, nothing specific here. You can either, you know, type your name of the reaction, or you can draw your reaction. And the references, we will do some 2 examples today, so I'll not stop in here. But the last one is the suppliers, so very simple. So you can, if you want to look for companies that can synthesize substances for you, that's where you can check this. And free blocks here, retrosynthetic analysis. I'll do analysis today. I hope we have time for that. And then we have the lexicon and the sequence. I'll not stop on it. This is more of advanced. If you would be interested in more advanced reference search, please let me know. We will do a separate session as well as for the sequences. And here we have the recent search history, meaning the last queries that I made, on the few of them, and all of them, the rest of them you can find under the history. So let's go straight to the reference search. And today I plan to show you also a substance search as well as reaction search. and retrosynthetic analysis if we have time. So for the reference search, I want to show you two types of searching. One of them is the natural search, and the second one using the Boolean operators. So I recommend you to start with the natural search to see what you have, and then you can optimize using the Boolean operators. So today my topic relates to histone deacetylase inhibitors, which are also known as abbreviation HDAC, and are relatively new class of anti-cancer agents. So let's do some natural search, like you would say it. You would type it anywhere else. So HDAC, and I'm interested specifically in multi-resistant cancer. So I'm going to type it, HDAC inhibitors. Resistant. That's correct, cancer. Okay. Oh, mistake there. Okay. So let's click on the search, see what we have, what we get. So now we will see the answer set for the references. And first thing, which I want to point out, is the sorting. So as you can see, the sorting is by relevance. This is the default one. If you change it at some point, the system will remember it for the next time. So keep in mind that you might want to put it back. So the relevance is very important. Sorting is very important for the natural search, because the natural search automatically combines the keywords with the Boolean operators OR, and on top you will get the most relevant results. So those that includes the maximum of your keywords, but at some point, maybe page 20, some of the keywords might be missing. That's why relevance sorting is important specifically in the natural search, but of course in all the rest, but that's one of the important things when you do the natural search, because on top, you want to see, of course, the most relevant results for you. So let me go through, I want to open one of the publications just to show you a bit how the record looks like, and then we will go through the filters. So SciFinder-n, it supports multiple pages, so you can do several searches in parallel in different tabs, and nothing will be lost in the previous one. So of course, as normal, you would expect the abstract, some of the author keywords that are given, and here we go with the indexation. Actually, you remember I've mentioned a couple of times the concepts on the slide here where you can find them. So those concepts are also searchable when you do your query. There will be some match for those concepts. Like, for example, the abbreviation was found with the full name and so on. So this is where, you can check. For example, one of the tip maybe I'm thinking of, when you start searching, maybe if you have already publication that you can always check it and see how we have indexed that, and maybe find some important concepts that you can use after in your searching. And if you use the old platform, you might remember that we also have the Medline database. But now this is combined in one record. So this one publication was indexed both by CAS and also the Medline. And we have now also the medical subject headings, which are their version of the concept. Of course, they are also very important because that also helps you with filtering. And you can search them all together when you do the filtration. There are sometimes also supplement concepts depending on the publication, substances that are indexed, and the citation. So now let's go through some of the filters. First of all, you see on top, filter by and exclude. You can, as you understand, so basically, if you would like, by default, it's filter by, but if you want to exclude something, not to keep it, you can always move to the exclude. So very easy. For all the other types of searching, like substances as well as reactions, this is also an option that you will see. So this is the similar capability. So you can see now the document type, for example, that we are covering. So different types of documents. This is the original language of the publications. You remember I told you everything is in English, but this can just give you, this is more of information, to keep in mind what is the original language. The publication here is clear. I want to point out on this filter because I think it might be helpful for you. If you are looking for some collaborations or maybe a postdoc or maybe a new job, so this is where you can check, who is working in the area that you are interested, which university, which company. So it doesn't matter, this will be where you can find it. And now here's the concepts. So again, they are very important because this is the standardized vocabulary. So if I click view all, I'll see 3 options: top count, alphabetical order, and the search. So the top count, of course, is not everything what you have. And these are specifically concepts from your answer set. So let's say you didn't find something in the top count. You can always go to the search. Let's imagine I'm interested in crystal structures. So I'm going to type crystal structure here. You can use also the truncation here if you want to cover a bit more and you're not sure about the complete phrase. So I'm going to type it like this, click on enter or search, both would work. And so I want to go more of a broad. I'm not sure about, what exactly I want to check. Maybe those concepts are also relevant. So I'll go more, broad, but you as a scientist who are working in the area, you would, of course, know more specific concepts that you would be interested to filter out. So as you can see, I selected all 6. I can continue searching again here for additional ones or for the top count. So you can select as many as you need. And don't forget to click apply. So now I will get only those publications where one of the concepts, at least one of the concepts, was present in my publication. So what else so this is the additional one that I want to point at this moment is also the by activity data. This is quite a new content in the platform. So you might be interested to check those publications that have a SAR data, ADME, or toxicity. So this is where you can find it. One more last thing that at this example I want to point out. Let's say you didn't find in the concept the keyword that that works for you. So what you can do, you can always go to search within results and type it. For example, neoplasm. It might be not the best keyword to use in here, but just an example, I can always use it. Use the keyword or the concept that the keyword that I didn't find in the concept list, for example. I can combine its Boolean operators, so that's also an option. And I can click on search. And this way, the system will select only those that are relevant to me, that includes the neoplasm. And you can see here we have those, what we have selected. If you, let's say, are interested in moving to the substances from this point, maybe what kind of substances we have indexed in these publications. What you can do, you can go always to the substances. For example, like here, I'll open it in new tab just to have this page. And I'll see my substances that was specifically indexed in that filtered answer set. They might take time depending on how many substances we have. Or the same would be with the reactions, right? If you want to download your answer set, this is where you can go. You can filter out, you can choose the details you want, maybe with the concept, with the substances, and so on. You can also share your results. If you're working with a colleague or you want to send it to your student, you can always click on send me within SciFinder-n. Remember, your colleague must have a login ID to see that page. So you will type his email or her email, include the message, if it's optional, of course, and they will get the same results as you. Also, the browser link actually works, so you can copy it, basically send it to the chat, the work chat that you are connected with your colleagues. And beside that, the last one is remember the saving options here, where you can save it actually. So you can click on the save, you can give it a name, set up alerts if you want, give it a tag, and then you can save it. And basically then you can get to that answer set anytime, when you're interested in it. And if you save at least one of the for example, that you can always combine it. So add, intersect, or subtract. But remember, you at least need to have one saved, and then you can combine it with the one which is even not saved. So there are up to 4 that you can combine in different ways. So, and now we are done with the natural search, just more of the bigger overview. And I want to show you the difference with the Boolean operators. Let's go back. Let's open just one of the tabs. So I'm going to use, in this case, there are more possibilities, but I'm going to use the AND operator, the brackets, the quotes, and the OR operator. But you can also use the truncation, like wildcards. So that's also possible. So I'm going to use the same topic, but I'll optimize it a bit. So I'm going to use the brackets because I want to give the system a bit of, some synonyms that are maybe not the obvious for the system. So, for example, neoplasm or cancer. So you might want to, combine even, add even several of them so that, if you're not sure which one you want to include, but you want both them to be in your answer set, at least one of them. So this is the way how you can, add those keywords or search for them. And I'll combine this with AND and use the quotes because I have a phrase and I want it to be found exactly like I'm typing it. So I don't want those words to be separated. In this case, multi-drug resistance. Are there any questions so far? Let me feel free to interrupt. I think there is a mistake. Sorry about that. Okay. So what you can also do with the reference search, you can combine it with the structure. For example, you want, a substructure or a scaffold. As a result, you will get still the references, but from where we extracted that substance or the substructure of that substance. So this is, where you can also combine the keywords in the substance search. And you can also combine it with different fields like concepts, if we want to go deeper into the filtration, or with the organization and other possibilities. And I click on the search. So now again, as a result, I'll have the reference search. But now, as you can see, I have quite much less results because I was very specific. Again, I would recommend you to go with the natural search first to see what you have, and then you can go and optimize your search. Maybe you want to include more of those like crystal structure together, or maybe filter out it after. So just keep in mind that this is another way how you can search just to optimize your answer set. And as you can see, I also got the load more results. With the natural search, you also can get that block. In my example, I didn't get that one. So what the load more results means. This is related to the relevance. So the system will select the most relevant results for you and will present them in the answer set. So in the natural search, sometimes in most of the cases, if you get a lot of results, it might not make sense because the system already, kind of pre-selected what are the best results. But when you do the Boolean operator search, it might make sense to click on load more results because you were already very specific. So you know what you need. So you don't need the system to pre-select it. In most of the cases, it will be just for a few publications more. So that's probably about the Boolean operators. We went already through most of the filters, so I'm not going to stop in here. So we already showed most of it. So let me now, if there are no questions, let me stop for a second and wait if there are any questions so far. Okay, if there are no questions, let me move to the structure search now. So I'm going to open again a home page. I'll keep those two for a while. Maybe there are some questions after. So in my example, I'm interested in a substance called, or a drug called lamivudine. That substance is known for preventing and for treating HIV/AIDS. So this is where what you can use. Sorry, this is what I'm going to use. So I'm going to use the substance name search, and after we can of course also do use the editor. But just for the beginning, let me show you the structure, the substance name search. So with the substance name search, what is very helpful is the auto suggest that we have. You see, so sometimes depending on the substance name, that might be quite valuable, or to give you an idea what else we have here. So click on the search, and now let me show you a bit of the substance record that might be interesting to check. So first of all, we see one structure, which is what we expected. And keep in mind that when you search with the substance name, this is the field where you are searching. So of course, you're not searching by the structure now. You're searching specifically in the name. And that's why you get basically one substance. Sometimes you might get several other structures where part of the name, or this name, was part of the name of the other substances, basically because you're looking in that field. So first of all, here you see the register number. Remember the unique identifier or CAS number, our structure. We also have an overview related to that substance, how many references there from where we index that substance. And you can always move to the references from here, or to reactions, or the suppliers. So if you click on the register number, we will see the complete substance record. So if you go a bit down, we will see some key physical properties. What is the most interesting here is the other names. So you see some smiles, inch codes, and this is where we are looking for when we are doing a substance name search. So these are all the names that our scientists would see, would meet, during the indexation, and they will record all of them. That's why you can search by any of the name of that substance. You will find some key experimental properties depending how well this substance was described in the literature. You might find for some cases, a bit more information. And in some cases, you will also see full text where we didn't have the possibility to add the value, but you will always get the source where you can find it. There is also some spectra information that you can find, again, depending how well we know this substance, the more spectra we will get. For example, you can always open it, and you will see if it's like a link, you will always see the spectra itself. In some cases, in most of the cases, actually, the conditions and some other details for the spectrum. And go back with the browser. And if you remember, I mentioned about some of the new information that was added related to life sciences. This is the SAR data, the ADME, and toxicity. This is a nice way how you can, learn more about your substance, get some values. We are still working on normalizing the data because this is quite new. It might take sometimes few seconds to download because of the amount of the content. And as you can see, you can filter out by the target, by the function, the parameter, the value, the disease if available, the organism. You can always click on the view more details and also learn about the source and what the procedure itself of this of the assay. And you can also move from one value to another, just see if there are other options, other values that are important for you, as you can see here, or you can click next. And the same would be also for the ADME and toxicity. So the same idea, you will find this additional content that is available for you. So this was about the substance name, and what I want to show you now is basically the structure search. So what I want to do, I can of course draw my structure, but I'm going to copy my register number, and you will see why in a second. So I'm going to use one of these, just not to have too many tabs. So I'm going to back to the substances, to the editor. So the editor is quite simple. We have some instructions how to use it. If there, because of course there are some specific to CAS, some buttons that additionally that can help you. In this case, I'm quite lazy, so I'm not going to draw my substance. Of course, I can do it, but I'm not going to do that now. I'm going to copy in here the register number. I can also use it for smiles or inch code, and then the system will draw my substance for me. I can modify it, of course, at this point, or leave it like it is and click on OK and click the search. So now you will have a bit of a different view from the name search, because now you have three options: the exact match, the substructure match, and the similarity. So the exact match is you might expect one substance, but this is not the case with SciFinder-n. Why is that? Because the system also gives you other variation, like other stereochemistry options, also the isotopes containing the mixtures, the salts, and other types of substances where this substance was part of it, even the polymers where this substance is a monomer if the substance is existent. So this is what you will get as a result is drawn, but on top, if you have the relevance result, a relevance sorting, you will get the exact match to your for your query. Of course, the substructure is simple, so you get the substructures, and the similarity is based on Tanimoto coefficient. Let me go through some of the filters just to mention some of them. We will not stop too much on that. You remember filter by and exclude. This is also here. If you're interested in additional substructure search, for example, or exact match, you can use the editor here, and you can, for example, add some substitution in this location or, you know, block, for example, the formation of the ring and so on. So this is where you can use it, not going outside of your answer set. You can see also some of the bioactivity data filter, which of the substances have that data, the commercial availability, the number of components. For example, if we are talking about mixtures or salts, the molecular weight, the log P. By default, these three will be always selected for the stereochemistry if the substance have the stereo center. But of course, you can remove that. This is just the default. So you can also filter out by the substance class, or there's an isotope or metal containing, or what is also interesting, the bioactivity indicator. Let's say you are interested only in those substances for which there was some information related to anti-infective agents. This bioactivity indicator is also a standardized one, so that's why you can rely on it. And this is what our scientists who index the data would give it to you. And of course, at this point, let's say, okay, I know which one are related to anti-infective. What I can do, I can always go and, you know, select the references just to check in which references it was described. So at this point, I'll not go through all the filters for the references because basically this is the similar one. But what I want to show you is the additional tools that you have access to under the platform besides SciFinder-n. If we go a bit down, for example, we're interested in analysis of those substances or those related substances, you know, those class of substances. What we can do, we can click on the analytical methods, and now the system will select only those you know, from where we extracted the analytical methods. Remember that this content is coming from around 2000 year till the current days, but we are trying to, you know, to make the content broader, but just keep in mind, if you're looking for something older, just stay inside SciFinder-n and look for some analytical topics inside. So, but if you are looking for something for the last decades, just, you know, you will see this link here under the publication, which is the indication that we have indexed the analytical method from that publication. In this case, and where you can find it, it's under the substances. So in this case, we have free analytical methods that were indexed from that publication. I'm interested in lamivudine, for example. I can click in the link, and now a new tab will be open, which shows me that I'm outside of SciFinder-n, and now I'm within the analytical methods. So what is the information that is available? So we can see the technique that was used. We can see some of the materials like the analyte, the matrix, the reagents, the source, of course, the equipment that was used, the conditions, the step-by-step instructions, like how to prepare the sample, and so on, as well as the validation if it was published in the analytical method, in the publication. And I can use this tool separately. If I click on the logo, I go on the home page, to the home page. I'll do a simple search, but if you're interested in learning more, just let me know. So we have also the advanced search where you can specify which analyte or matrix you want to use and so on. But I'll go with the simple, the same lamivudine. And as you can see, we have again how to suggest and see what kind of analytical methods do you have. So I didn't specify from the beginning, is it analyte or is it matrix? So I will need to choose from analyte. I can see it on top. I can select also the matrix. For example, I'm interested in blood plasma. And I can, of course, also select the technique if I'm interested in something specific. This is not standardized techniques yet, So feel, just keep in mind that you need to look at all of them, just, for those who might be interested for you. And let's say you've got few of the analytical methods, and they look quite similar. What you can do, you can compare them, just clicking on this button here. You can compare up to 3. And clicking on this button, you see them side by side. You can expand them all, you can download them, and you can see side by side what was the matrix, what are the materials, the equipment that they used, the conditions, the validation if available, the source, all of this information that you can use. This is shortly about analytical methods, and now let's go back to our answer set. So I'm going to use the browser back, and I'll remove the filter for the analytical methods, because now let's say I'm interested in some composition or some formulation. I use the same filter. I go a bit down under the CS solutions, click on Formulus, and now you will see, for example, you can select one of the publication. In this case, it's a patent. I'll tell you about this option in a few seconds. So if we open it in new tab, in the same position under the substances, you will see the shortcut of the formulations that are available or extracted. So here's the formulations. This is the part of the formulation, the complete formulation you will find under the CAS Formulus. So if I want to learn more, I need to click on this CAS Formulus details, a new tab will be opened. Again, I'm outside of SciFinder-n, I'm in Formulus. And here where I can see, a bit more details on that formulation, like the purpose, the target, the delivery route, what are the components that were used in that formulation? Do I know the function or the amount? Are they optional? Depending on what was published, of course, you will see this information. The effective dose is available, the experimental data and so on might be available depending on the source. And I can use also simply inside Formulus. So this is how the homepage looks for Formulus. I know it's a lot of the details, but I hope you still can follow. If there's something unclear, just interrupt me or stop me or let me know that I have to slow down. So here we have few options. I'll do only one of them, just the simplest, and we'll just want to show you how the simple search looks in formulations. So I'm going to search again for lamivudine, the same structure, the same substance. I have the auto-suggest as well here. And I can click on the search. And here we can see that there are different industries that are available, like cosmetics, the inks, pharmaceutical, agro. I can see the purpose. In this case, I'm interested in antiviral drugs, agents. I can look for more, of course. There are physical forms, the state of the matter, this is standardized one, the delivery route. And if I'm interested specifically in so that the experimental activities are available, this is what I can choose. There is also document type that from where we extracted and the organization. And of course, the similar view you will see if I click on one of the publication, I see where this formulation was described, what's the purpose, what's the target, the physical form if available. And if you remember this, the view is basically the same, but in this case, I have some experimental activity data. So this is shortly about formulations. Just one thing I want to point, if you are interested in some of specific content that we have or specific tools that we have, please don't hesitate to contact me or Lucia, Albertina in general, and we will organize a training session specifically on your needs, on what you are interested in. And, we make it specific to you. We will do it separate. So, of course, this is free of charge. Just keep in mind. Let me see. I saw a message in the chat. Okay, that's Lucia. So, thank you, Lucia, for the mentioning it in Slovak. So, one thing I want to point out here, last thing in the references. So, some of you might work sometimes with patents. And if you ever worked with patents, you know how difficult it is to work with them because they are normally scanned. Of course, they're available online, not a problem, but they are scanned and it's difficult to find something in them, especially if it's 100 pages. So here where our scientists can help you. So there is a patent pack option, which gives you three possibilities, PDF, PDF Plus, and the viewer. Let's open this patent. So if it's a patent, you might see the patent family, depending, in which countries it was filed. You will also see the substances. And next to the substances, if it was fully indexed, that patent, you will see this patent pack option. The patent pack, if you click on it, it will open the viewer. You remember there were three options here, PDF, PDF Plus, and viewer. And the viewer will give you the location of the substances because this is what our scientists have done. So they indexed the substance, and gave you the location of it. It doesn't matter if it's a name of the substance or the structure itself. They would, index it anyways, give you the structure if available. And you can see the location of other substances as well. So in this case, we have a lot on this page, but of course it can be on the other pages. Okay, this page is quite populated a lot with the substance names. But as you can see, there are more than almost 300 pages. But this is what our scientists did. They went for the full page, for the full patent, and give you the understanding what it is inside, or where the structures were published. And this is also searchable text, so you can copy it. If you want to work offline with this patent, you can download it. You can download either the PDF, which is a searchable text, or the PDF Plus. And the PDF Plus gives you a table at the end of the patent with the location of the substances. Again, it's a searchable text. So it's quite a big patent, so it might take some time to download. But let's see. Okay, this is still the figures. Okay, here we are. So you will see the location of the substance, the register number, the name if available, and the structure if it's available. So this can help you to work offline with that, with those documents, with patents. So let's go back. Now, I want to pause for a second. Do you have any questions before I'll move to the reaction search? If there are no questions, I'll move to the reaction search. So let me close a bit for you not to confuse myself to search. So I'm going to the home page. I don't need the patent pack anymore. And I'm moving to reactions. So there are, again, two ways how you can search for reactions. One is using the substance name, or you can use the editor, of course. So let's use the substance name first. I'm interested in aciclovir reactions. I'm not sure, for the moment, I want to check all reactions where this substance was taking part. So I'm going to type it. So I can also type the register number here. It's gonna work. And I'm clicking the search. Since I didn't specify the roles, I'm going to have all the reactions where it's the product, reactant, or reagents. So first thing first, I want to mention about the grouping. By default, so this is by transformation selected. This is one of the grouping that is available. It might be interesting for the students just to have an idea what you have, what kind of transformation you have. This is one of the grouping, and you see there are like 79 reactions behind. But by default, you have the grouping by scheme. Similar to the sorting, as soon as you change the grouping, the system will remember it for the next time. So you might want to just simply change it back. So that's very easy, no problems with that. So what is grouping by scheme? Grouping by scheme combines similar reactant as well as products in one scheme. That means, they're similar, but the conditions, of course, may be different. So if you want to search for each of them, to look for the details, you can just simply click on those, on the link, and you will see the reaction for that from that specific source with the same reactant, with the same product. And, depending on how much information we have or the source, you can always look at the patent inside. And there is actually patent pack available for this one. So what kind of filters do we have? Just let's go quickly through some of them. Again, we have filter by and exclude. We have search within results. If you want to do, some substructure search, probably in this case, that would not help you that much. But if you use the editor for searching reactions, and I'll show you, that might be much more useful. You have the substance role if you are interested in specifically, where the acyclovir is a product or reactant or reagent. You have the yield available. Some authors, as you know, might not mention the yield, and this is where you can find those reactions. The number of steps. You can filter out by non-participation functional groups. If you want to specify where the transformation is going to happen, or which, so that this atom is also here, this one, so you can use the mapping. But remember, not all of them might have the mapping, so you might want to check both. So the reaction scale, what is also very useful for you, you might ask, like, do you have the full text? We do have full text for patents, as you can see for the patent pack, but some of them for the articles we don't have. We do have the link where you can find it if you have a subscription. But even if you don't have the full text, if you don't have the subscription to that journal, to that document, you can still use, for example, one of it, either synthetical methods or experimental procedure. And this will give you information for those reactions from which we extracted that details. So if I'm going to click on open, or maybe let me select two-step reactions just to show you a bit a nicer example. So let me select experimental protocols. I'll open it in new tab just for a better view to keep the page there. And now I have, for the first step, I have my experimental protocol nicely organized. This is what our scientists reworked it from the publication itself. So I know what is the reactant, what is the reagent, the catalyst, the solvent, the step-by-step procedure, the transformation. Sometimes you'll see also the spectrum information. And since it's two-step reactions, I'll see also the information for the second step, okay? So where we have been here, right? And the same for the experimental procedure. Let me remove this and select the experimental procedure. This is a bit different. So it's also the protocol, but it's not modified. So whatever was how it was published, it will be represented the same way in SciFinder-n. So here it is. So completely the same without any not organized like in the synthetical methods. So we can see the difference now. But of course, we will not modify it. So all the information, it is exactly represented as it was in the publication. You can also filter out by the catalyst, the reagent, or the solvent, or you can check some of the reaction notes if you're interested, for example, in green chemistry. So this is shortly about the reaction search by the name. And let me do a reaction search with the editor. In this case, I'll need to draw the structure. So I'm going to do a Suzuki coupling reaction. Please be patient. I'll need to draw my reaction first. Meanwhile, I'm drawing. Please feel free to ask me some questions so that, this is the possibility that the time we have. So the editor is pretty simple, nothing. You can use the keyboard for most of the elements, and you can, if it doesn't work, you can always use the table to specify, to use the element. And if let's say you don't know, specific atoms, so you are interested in any atoms, you don't want to limit yourself, you can use the variables, the X. And for example, I'm interested in any atom except the hydrogen. So let me draw the other reactant, the reagent. Teams. So any comments are also welcomed. Maybe you expected another type of training, another type of content. I'll be happy to, to optimize it for the next time. Just feel free to let me know. Yeah, the halogens are here.
Well, it looks very comfortable.
Great, thank you for the comment. I'm happy to hear that. This is our goal, for sure. Yeah, I didn't comment on that. There are two ways. So if you use the arrow, this is basically automatically assigned the role of the reactant. But if you want to select by yourself, use the AB button, select the substance, and then you can assign which role you want, especially if you don't have the full reaction like I have. So maybe you have just the product. And this is the way how you can, just select the role that, and as you can see, since I have the arrow, this is already automatically assigned the product. So I'm not drawing that often. So as you can see, I'm pretty slow. So I'm sorry about that. I'm normally using a lot the register number to draw my substances, but of course this is not always possible for like in this case where you need to draw a reaction. Again, I'm going to use the variables, and which is the any atom. Again, that's the same position here. So there is other things here available, like the R groups. If you want to specify several, groups like variables, you can choose from the atoms, you can choose from variables or the shortcuts. The shortcuts are also in here, so you can use them. Okay, so we slowly had our reaction. Now we can say, okay, we have our reaction here. We can modify it if we need it, and we can click on the search. So now you will see a bit of a difference, quite a big difference, I would say, in comparison with the name reaction search, because now, similar to the structure search, we have three options: exact match, substructure match, or similarity. In our case, we don't have any similarities, which are based on Tanimoto coefficient, but in this case, we do have exact match and the substructure match. So there is nothing specific in this case. We already discussed a bit the filters. Of course, we can download, we can share. In this case, the format, of course, is a bit different, but we also have the PDF one. You can save, you can share, you can combine. So all of this is possible. You will always see the source for your reaction. And again, in this case, search within results might be much more useful, because now you can, since we are in substructure search, maybe you can add some substitution, or, block the substitution. So this is what I want to mention, because that might be missed by you. A lot of users just don't notice that we have that. If you don't want, especially in the substructure search, if you want to block some substitution from formation here, you can simply use that. And of course, if you want to remove it, that would work. And if we did this, for example, you will have also two options. Here you see as drawn or the substructure again. So this is how you don't need to go out of your answer set. You can already, just continue using inside. And for example, the solvent, let me move to the exclude option. So you saw I didn't click on apply, but if you need to click on the search for the substructure, where I've been. Okay, for example, I don't want the water solvent in my answer set. So this is where the exclude will be used. But remember, you need to go back to filter by. I personally sometimes forget, so then I'm like surprised why it is excluded, but you need to, notice this thing. So this is about reaction search. Quickly, again, if you're interested in something deeper, more details, let me know, and we will, do another session for your team, for your colleagues, or for your faculty, whatever works best for you. And last but not least, we still have 10 more minutes. I want to show you the retrosynthesis. Let me go to the home page again. So here we have the retrosynthesis, but there are two ways how we can start it. So for example, if we add the substance, I'm interested in compound, which is anti-cancer drug. It's called olaparib. I'm going to type it here. This is one of the ways. So I'm type it here, click on enter or search. And of course, you saw this is the same view. Okay, we have the substance record. But if I click on the structure itself twice, I see some other options. And here where we have the start retrosynthetic analysis. The other way would be, especially that would be interesting for those structures that are not available. I mean, they are completely new and we don't have them in SciFinder-n. So they were not indexed either yet, or maybe you're working on completely a new class of substance. So this is where you can, use the retrosynthetic analysis. You can draw a completely new substance that we don't have here. That means you will do a predicted analysis, but let's talk about it in a few seconds. In my case, again, I'm going to be lazy. I'm going to use the register number, click on enter, and the structure is drawn. So of course I can modify it now, but in my case, I'm just going to keep it as it is and click on start retrosynthetic analysis. So now we have a few options how we can influence the result of the analysis. So retrosynthesis, as you know, basically helps you to find the best way how to synthesize your substance, maybe with a higher yield, maybe a bit of cheaper way, or maybe with the reagents that you have in the lab, right? So we have two options of the retrosynthesis. One is experimental, and it's based on single-step experimental reactions that were indexed inside, in our database. And the second one, which is predicted, is based on the rules of transformations, which are created based on those single-step experimental reactions. So we have different types of rules. We have common, uncommon, and rare. As you can guess from the name, That means, for example, uncommon, there are not that many reactions that support that transformation, and just few and really, a lot of reactions that would support that transformation. So depending on, what you're looking for, you might want to play with that just to check different options. You have the synthetical depth. I can select up to 4. Also, by default, the starting material cost is 1,000. But as you can see, I changed it once and the system remembered my choice and I keep it at 15, just to have the cheaper way. You can also influence on which bond must be broken or the opposite, protected, or both. And synthetic analysis might take from few minutes to 10 minutes, 15 minutes, depending on how much content we have. And is it only predicted? Is it both? So that might take a few minutes. So you might need to email me when my plan is complete. First, depending again how much information there behind, the experimental one will appear first. And then you will see that, the predicted is still counted. As you notice, I was probably too automatic. I clicked too soon. The system gave me a notice that my plan is still counting. So here, as you see, it's searching. But I did this analysis a few days before, and it should be in my history. So I'm going to click on my history. I will filter out by retrosynthesis. As you can notice, this is the one we just started, so it's searching. And I have another one, which I've done actually a few days before. You can see it's the same settings. And you can see that it will expire on February 16 because some more reactions might come to the system. So you might want to, recalculate that. You can open the plan from the history. And now first thing you see the experimental steps, and then you can switch on the predicted if you're interested. Again, as I said, you can calculate the plan for completely new compound. So as you can see, the system gives you a possibility to already select the predicted. So I'll view it now. I don't mind. But if you want to focus only on the experimental, this is how you can. Of course, the experimental is more relevant, so it will go first, but you will have more options, to also get some ideas. So here we have our target molecule. We have the supplier information here. So we can always click on the suppliers and check, who can synthesize that for me. So I'll not stop here. We have just 5 minutes more. We can always, just view on some alternatives. So we see what the system actually selected, right? But let's say we don't agree with that. Maybe some of the materials, we don't have it. Some of the starting materials we don't have. So we can always click on the plus. We have possibility to exclude the step. We can view the evidence. The evidence means those reactions that are similar, that have similar transformation. In this case, they are experimental reactions that are similar to what the system have chosen, and you can filter out and get some ideas how you can synthesize your substance. And you can click on the view alternatives. So now you will have two options. Again, depending on what is the substance, you will have experimental, and you might have also the predicted if we have the rule of transformation. So this is what the system selected, and this is a similar reaction to this one with similar transformation. So you have the yield, but let's say you want to get some ideas, so you can move to the predicted ones. So remember that predicted, you still have, you still need to use your chemical knowledge to judge, if they make sense, because of course this is still you still need to use your judgment to check what makes sense and what's the best for you. But you can always select them, and then the system will recalculate your analysis, and you will get another retrosynthetic results. And of course, you can do the same with experimental if you don't like the selection of the system. You can also remove some of the starting materials, and then the system again will recalculate this. You can see the overall information, like what is the estimated yield for the overall plan, or what is the price. You can also change the scoring. By default, this is the position that was taken into account by the system. But if you, for example, the cost is the most important, you can put it the maximum, and the rest, for example, for the minimum, or maybe the yield as well is also the most interesting, the most important for you. The question mark gives you some idea, the idea what is behind that scoring that you can influence. And if you don't want to see the predicted, you can always switch it off. So that's always an option. And you can download, you can share, and you can save by PDF your plan to work offline, or to keep it on your computer. So that's quickly. So we're just right on time, but I do have more time for your questions, and I'll be happy to take questions or comments or feedback, whatever you would like to share. And again, once again, just keep in mind that we can do a separate session for your university, for your faculty, or for your team members with specific topics that you might have. So this is all possible, of course. And of course, it's free of charge.